Hello, Ernie. Welcome to UK Slot Festival again.
Thank you.
I'm seeing on your display that you've brought quite a few new things with you this year.
Definitely, we did.
Would you introduce me to
Sure.
what you've got?
I'm going to start with this new Corvette C1. This is the Cunningham C1. This will be at Sean's at Pendle very soon and on the market worldwide in about 2 weeks. This is a chassis sample. This is an actual production piece of the metal chassis. This is an aluminum chassis with a movable motor pod. You can adjust the front axles. You can also get some movement in the pod.
Okay.
This is powered by an 18,000 RPM FK motor. It's called. It has motor brushes.
Yeah.
And it has slotted gearing. It's geared 1024 the production. You can
Okay.
also go up a pinion size and down it, or up and down a pinion size, so you can go from either 9 through to 11, and the crown gears you can go from 23s right up to 25s.
And these pieces on the side, those I take it are for the body mountings.
These are the body mountings. These are little spring steel body mounts.
Yeah.
And they're resting on 3 little silicone washers.
Oh,
They're
okay.
good movement. And the body's attached on these 4 points.
Yes.
Simply screwed into the body. So you can have a bit of body float.
Yes.
You can increase it, decrease it a little bit.
And do we have a capability at the front here to adjust how high the chassis runs in relation to the circuit?
We can. We have an upright here which has an oval hole, and the axles run through a bronze bushing.
Yeah.
There's a set screw adjustment from the top and a set screw adjustment from the bottom, so you can
Okay.
adjust it. Yes.
And is there any offset in your motor pod?
This is a 1 millimeter offset, so you can see these are slotted 1 millimeter offset
Gears, yeah.
Yes.
And tyres, what kind of compound are we talking about with regard to the tyres
These are
here?
the same rubber that comes on a production version of all the slotted cars.
Okay,
Same rubber.
I think that's called a C compound or
I
something,
think it's a
isn't
C
it?
compound.
Yeah.
Right. I believe you're right. We'll also be offering this with a G25 compound.
Yeah.
We'll also be offering slightly wider wheels. Although these are scale, period correct wheel and tire widths, there is an option to get a slightly wider wheel.
And there is a spoke pattern in the production.
This is the actual production piece, a very
Yeah.
early production piece, and you can see that those are the steel wheels and steel knockoffs, and that's the painted body.
You know, being a Brit, it was only last October when I very first bumped into one of these cars with my eyes open, and I was most astounded at how large they actually are.
It is quite a big car
Isn't
relative
it?
to European cars. It is
Yeah,
quite a large
exactly.
car.
Yeah. That was the one thing that stuck with me, and how basic and simple it was. Obviously, that echoes its time period, of course.
Lovely shape of car for sure, definitely.
So what else?
We have 3 brand new cars on the market. There's 3 Jag XJ220s.
Yeah, these are reliveries of the existing.
These are real livery cars. This raced at the Italian Championship.
Yeah.
And if you look at the back end of the car, you can see it has the low height road range and very
Oh
minimal
yes.
exhaust. If you look at the ACC version, this one raced at Le Mans, I believe, in 95 or 96. And this, if you look at the rear end of this car, it's totally different. With a different
Wing,
exhaust system,
different
different
exhaust.
wing supports. And these are all real, actual liveries. These are not fantasy liveries.
Yes.
And the third one also raced at Le Mans, the green AM and D car. This one features a slightly different rear end, as you can see with the exhaust, a little bit more detail. And if you look at the front end, you're going to see different lower running lights. So all slightly different versions. These are all very popular, especially the green one's been selling very, very well.
And technically speaking, have we've got a Lexan interior inside them all?
No, this is strictly plastic. There's no Lexan. It does feature a faster engine than what we used to use before. The previous round of Jags had a 20.5
Flat 6 style.
Flat 6 style.
Yeah.
We've now moved to a 22.5, so a little bit faster.
Oh, that will be
We've also done a
the.
little bit of redesign of the motor pod as well, just to make the gears mesh a little bit better. So a couple of improvements.
Okie
So
dokie.
these are on the market. Getting back to the Corvette, this is the first in the series of 1960s GT cars.
Yeah.
These will be followed up by the Ferraris down here. There's a couple of 1960 Ferrari 250 short wheelbase cars. These are prototype samples, but these are actually made from molded parts. They're hand painted, but they will be exactly as the finished product.
What's the likely release time for this?
We're not able to say right now. I don't want to Tony kind of a timeline. We have to talk to him
Yeah.
do some scheduling. But we plan to do 2 cars together. We plan to do actually the red Ferrari, and we're going to couple that with the gold Corvette. And this one has an interesting finish. You can see it has the interesting simple finish, and if you rotate it around, you'll see it's got a bit more detail. It's got the stripes.
Ah, yes.
And these are also both actual, actual race cars.
Make good running partners for the Corvette.
Yes, it's a little bit smaller car.
Yeah.
But very similar in weight.
Period. Yeah.
The other Corvettes that you see on the shelf there's a red one and a gold one.
Yeah.
These are cars that ran in the 2000s. These are more called vintage racers that people build.
Yes.
In vintage events.
Yeah.
Not actual 60s liveries.
Yeah.
But the final race cars, the final racing versions will be very similar to this.
I particularly like this one. This one to me says steampunk. I don't know why. It's just the red gold combo, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of a quirky thing. Gold cars don't always look great, but with the red stripes and the red wheels, it has a great look.
The erstwhile Momo Ferrari over there.
The Momo car, this is going to go into production very soon. We're going to reduce our production of quantities that we have producing now based on what we've done in the past. There seems to be a bigger shift towards the metal chassis car, but we will produce this livery very soon. A very popular livery. Momo's always a great car.
Yeah. Well, you're the metal chassis specialist, aren't you? You know, I'm not surprised at all.
Well, this is actually plastic. The 333 is going to be plastic.
Yeah.
But we have.
There's
definitely a history of metal chassis.
I kind of meant that one more than any.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. There's a couple, and there's 2 more cars that are in study production. This is the Aston Martin DB4, an initial study model. It's not quite the right proportions, but we're working on that to make it look closer to the real car. And then it's also like an evolution of all the metal chassis cars that are in process of being out on the market. We hope to get at least 4 models onto the market.
Yeah. Well,
by the end of the year.
Again.
Very close in size to the
Yeah. Similar chassis, similar performance.
These chassis, all the metal chassis will have all the same mechanical components because of the different sizes of the cars and because the wheelbases of each car dictate are based on the shape of the car. We have to produce a different size chassis plate.
I've got you.
Car.
But that's the only real change. All the running gear remains the same.
All the running gear remains the same.
Wheels and tires too.
Wheels and tires, gears, gear ratios, motors.
Got you.
This is car number 4. This is the SL300 Gullwing. This started racing in the late 50s into the 60s. And that's what, of course, will feature on the metal chassis. Same wheels and tires, motors, and things like that. We've tried to keep as much interior as possible, so that's the reason why we've gone to the smaller, slim line motors or the F050 motor. And it also is more period correct for these era cars. We don't want it to go as fast as an LMP car.
Of course.
Interestingly, one thing that just came to mind is all these cars have a magnet. They do come with a magnet. I'm going to show you the bottom of this chassis. You can see the magnet there. It's in a magnet. It's in a little bracket. As you can see there.
This pocket, which is adjustable.
Right here where the 2 screws are.
Yeah.
This is like a little pocket that's screwed in. You can loosen the 2 screws
and change
the position.
Yeah.
It already comes about 1 millimeter proud of the bottom of the chassis.
Yeah.
Because the tires themselves keep the car about almost 3 millimeters off the track.
Yeah.
So you can take that out completely if you want to race without magnets.
Of course.
And you can also change the speed of the motor. You can go up as high as 40,000 RPM if you want to. These motors come with quite a range of speeds as well.
So there's been a fair amount of delay with regard to release of these C1 Corvettes.
Yes.
And I know that some of my viewers might be interested to know a little more.
Yes, I'll give them a bit of background. Originally, this was the start with a new factory that we began communications with almost a year ago, just over a year ago. And I had speculated that based on my experiences with other factories, I'd be able to get a car out by the end of the year. We then realized it was going to take us into 2025. But we did have some mechanical issues with some of the components. There was some remolding that went on. The bushings had to be remade. And my real concern was I didn't want to put something on the market that wasn't right.
Right, of course.
Down the road, people are going to remember this.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well, I don't want to get another car because I had so many problems.
Yeah.
We hope that in 6 months' time when the cars people look back on the release, they'll say, well, we only waited an extra month or so, but now the car is right, and they'll forget about how
So future cars won't suffer the same way?
Not at all, because all the mechanical components have been straightened out. Definitely.
So you did say that your UK distributor or the main retailer will be Pendle Slot Racing.
Yes.
Where will we go for one of these in the US?
We have many retailers now. We have some issues with the tariffs. We're trying to work around the tariffs.
Well, you mentioned it. I didn't want to, but yeah.
It is a bit of a challenge in the US right now. So we're trying to figure out the best way to get it into the US. So
Yeah.
It's definitely a challenge, for sure.
Unresolved for the moment. Work in progress.
Work in progress, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Now, I heard this morning that Trump did reduce the tariffs from 120 down to 80. So
Between China.
Importations from China.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Of course, we're in a unique position in the UK, but it doesn't mean that the industry for us won't be affected. I think because the product still originates there, unless of course it originates in Italy.
No, it does not originate in
No,
Italy.
there's only one brand that does, I think.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a minefield at the moment, as I understand. But anyhow, listen, thank you very much for giving me the time of day.
Thanks, man.
Let me shake your hand, and hopefully I'll see you again next year.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Take care, man.